Hi, and welcome to freshmind.com. My name is Eric, and this is part 3 of our Valentine's Day heart. The only thing we have left to do is just to do a render. And to make this a little more interesting, we could create an animation where this kind of goes round and round so we can see both sides. But how about let's just do this. I'm going to make a duplicate. Actually, it looks like we got some history here. So edit, delete by type, history. File, save scene as. I'm going to name this as _3. The third and final stage. All right, let's make a duplicate. So Control D, and let's flip this around. Actually, we just go over here and just type in 180. And let's make this smaller. Kind of bring it in front. What I'm going to do is I'm just lowering this bottom corner to this lower edge of my view panel, just as a guide, and I'm just going to bring that down to the same place. There we go. Alright, I think I'll make this a little bit smaller, just so it doesn't cover up any of our words. I actually do this a lot. I'll use the edge of my screen if I'm trying to line stuff up. You could just turn the grid on, but a lot of times I'll just use an edge of a view panel or something like that. Okay, now we can actually go a little bit bigger. So all right, there we go. Not bad. All right, let's create a ground plane. Polygon, I'm just going to create a polygon plane. Just kind of scale this out. Just something for a shadow to land on. Let's lower this and let's place it right there at the edge of the bottom of our hearts. And we're going to use a background shader. So let's go to, since we're using the Hypershade, let's go ahead and keep doing that. So Windows, down to Rendering Editors, Hypershade. We're going to use background, which is right here. So instead of Lambert, we're going to go down and where it says Use Background, just click on that, puts it down there, and that's all we got to do. We can double click it, open up the attributes, and you'll see reflectivity. Let's just turn that down, unless you want some reflectivity. Reflection limit, turn that down too. That's all I'm going to do. And then let's just middle mouse drag that and drop it onto our ground plane. All right, now that you have that assigned, let's go to View, Camera Attribute Editor. In the Attribute Editor, scroll down, Environment. When we render it out, the background's going to be black. So we want to render it out with a white background so our part just look a little nicer. So make that white. And now the only thing we have left to do is set our rendering up. Let's go View, Camera Settings, Resolution Gate. That way we can see what's going to show up in our render. So let's do something like that. Maybe even rotate this a little bit. Maybe something like that. All right, we'll just see how it looks. We can kind of keep playing with this until we get a nice look. All right, let's go to View, Bookmarks, Edit Bookmarks, and we'll say this is Render Angle 1. Hit Enter, close that out. That way if we move around, we can go back up to our View menu, Bookmarks, there's our Render Angle 1. We can click it, and it takes us right back to where we were. Okay, let's go to our render settings. Let's change this to Mental Ray, which is not showing up in my list. So let's go to Windows, Settings Preferences, over to Plugin Manager. Let's look for Mental Ray, which is right there, My Mental Ray. Click Loaded. Also, I'm going to click on Auto Load. I don't know why, but sometimes it just doesn't, it just resets that. All right, close. Now when we open up our render settings, it should show in our list. There it is, Mental Ray. Alright, quality. I'm going to go ahead, since it's a really simple, not much geometry. Production. Click on features. Let's turn on final gathering. It's just a really quick and easy way to get a decent rendering. If you wanted a perfect rendering, of course you could start setting up lights and all that kind of stuff, but this right here is just a really simple, quick, easy way to get a nice looking rendering. Let's go to the common tab. Alright, everything looks fine. Let's do a render and see what we get. Alright, there's our rendering. The words look a little blurry a little bit, so I want that to be a little more sharp, at least for this rendering, this image. So I'm going to keep that image. I'm going to open up my rendering editor's hypershade back up. Here's our heart shader. I'm just going to double click it, open up the attributes for it, and let's just open up our input. Here's our file node. Let's just double click it. Here's our attributes for the file, and right up above our file you'll see a filter type quadratic. I'm going to just turn that off because I really don't need any kind of filter, at least not for this. Okay, let's close this out and do another render. And that will make our letters more crisp. And if we wanted to even be more crisp, we could, in our render settings, we could switch it from a Goss filter to like a Mitchell filter. Alright, so if we look here, you can see that our letters are more crisp now. And that's it. That concludes this tutorial. I hope you got something out of this, and I hope you go and create something really cool for Valentine's Day. And if you do, feel free to attach a video response to show us what you did. And let me also add real quick to this into this tutorial that we're always trying to strive to make our tutorials better. And when I listen to my own tutorials, sometimes I'm like, man, I say too many times, or I say this word too many times, or I wonder, is it, should I right click on stuff to assign textures and do everything that way, or is it better to use the hypershade? Which is better for our subscribers? What's easier for people to understand, to follow along? So if you ever have any ideas that could help us improve our videos, please feel free to let us know. You're not going to offend us anyway. So yeah, anything that you can do to help us improve our videos, we're more than happy to listen to you. So thank you very much for watching our tutorials, and we hope to see you in the next one.